everybody, and welcome. My name is Kelsey Derringer, and I work for BirdBrain Technologies. So I am the Professional Development Coordinator for BirdBrain, which means that primarily I teach teachers coding and robotics. But since we're all kind of learners and teachers a little bit all together, right now, I also get to teach students. So we have some really cool students, and we are going to make this great rover project today. Whether you've got a robot or not got a robot, we're all gonna make a rover together. But I'm not alone. I've also got my co-host, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Kelsey. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to answer some questions that are going to be coming in from Facebook.
That's right. So if you are joining us from Facebook, if you're watching live there, you can participate live, actually. So if you type us a comment or a question, something like that, you want a shout out from Facebook, you can type it directly in the comments there. Matt will see those and he'll let me know about them. All right, so let me show you a little bit about our project today, and then we'll check in with some of our makers and learners. So the project that we're going to be making, there's two versions of it. There's a non-robotic version and there's a robotic version. And we're going to talk about how to make both of them today. So if you don't have a hummingbird at home, you'll be focusing in on this shells and cheese doodad right here. Or if you do have a hummingbird at home, yours will probably look something a little bit more like this, or perhaps something more like this rover here. This one we call him the angry commuter because he looks very unimpressed with his commute, back when there was such a thing as commutes. So this is kind of how this one works. The robotic version is super easy. You just need two rotation motors that you put on the bottom of a box, and then you put a ping pong ball on the other side, and that's basically how this guy works. So if I go back here, this guy works with those two motors and a ping pong ball, and then you can also add stuff. Like you can add a distance sensor if you want to. You could add some lights. You can add all kinds of things to this basic design, but it's really just two rotation motors and a ping pong ball. So if you've got a hummingbird, try that. You can get started on that. If you do it wrong, you can just unstick it, do it again. Here's kind of how that looks broken down into its most essential parts. Technically, you don't even need a box. This is just, and if I undo this pipe cleaner here a little bit, this is just a hummingbird, two motors, and a battery pack. So here's my hummingbird. Here's the battery pack, and I just Velcroed that on here as well. I like these Velcro strips. They make things easy to take apart. You could also tape it or even hot glue it. So I glued those two motors together, and then I used the battery pack kind of as the body of it, and I hot glued a ping pong ball right on there. I wanted to make the smallest rover possible, and you'll see why later. But then I just used basically a long twisty tie, but it's a pipe cleaner to secure that on there again, so it was really easy to take apart. All right, and then to make it into a thing, I made a little cardboard mouse and Velcroed that on the top of there. So this is a basic robotic rover design. So if you want to start making a robot version, you got it, you're ready. We'll talk about how to program it a little bit later. But if you're not making a robot version, if you're making a non-robotic version, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need the basic parts of how a rover or a car works is you've got a chassis. So this is pronounced not chassis, it's pronounced chassis. And that's like the body of it. You're gonna need something for wheels, and you're gonna need some axles. So wheels, I think we know what wheels are. The axles are like the stick that goes through. So I was trying to brainstorm with Lily a little bit earlier for what she could use for axles, because she didn't have chopsticks like I did. So Lily, can I come to you? Would you mind introducing yourself? Because I actually heard that you had an interesting story. Your name's Lily, and we were talking about cars and stuff earlier. Do you want to tell us about your favorite car that you've ever been on, that toy car you were talking about?
Yes. When I was little, my big cousin, he had a toy car that we could sit in, and we could control it with the pedals and the handles. We just had to turn it.
Mm-hmm.
And it moved around, and that was one of my favorite things to do when I was little. Just play in that car all the time.
Pedals on it that you could like pedal and push kind of thing, like that. That's cool. Well, so you were trying to figure out how to make your car, and you said you had toothpicks, but you were afraid that the toothpicks weren't going to be long enough to go through the car. So we were trying to brainstorm some other things. Now you'd suggested you'd ask, could I tape them together so that they're longer? Have you tried that?
Yeah, it works pretty
How'd
good.
it go? Okay. They're looking a little bit longer. You could tape a couple more together like that. Let's help Lily do a little bit of brainstorming though, friends. We'll introduce our engineering design process, which we've talked about before. So ask, imagine, plan, create, and test. Ask. Lily's first trouble that she's having here is she's having trouble finding an axle that is long enough to go through her chassis. Can we go to gallery view? I'd love to see, can anybody imagine something else that she could use? If she doesn't have a chopstick, what else could she use? Raise your hand if you've got some other ideas for her. Kimber, what do you think? What else could she use?
You could use a pencil.
You could use a pencil? Yeah, if you've got a pencil, you might be able to use that. Something long and skinny. What else could she use, Sophia and Connor? You guys can unmute yourselves. There you go.
She can use a straw.
Ah, yeah, if you've got a straw, like either a metal straw or even a plastic straw or something, that might work. What else could work, Sigrid? Let's come unmute you.
So you might not have it, but I a lot of these skewers.
I'm talking and then you put it back up.
Oh yeah. Wooden skewers. You're our wooden skewer friend. So if you've got a wooden skewer, you could use that. I got a straw, so if you've got a straw, you could use that. Oliver and Calvin.
I'm part of the skewer club.
Yeah, skewer club. That's right. Oliver and Calvin, did you guys have any ideas? You want to unmute? Yeah.
We were going to say skewer too.
Yep, skewer club. Great. All right. So those are some ideas for folks at home. We've imagined some different ones, and now we can kind of plan it out. What have you got there, Lily? Looks like you found something else. Let's check in.
Straws.
You got some straws. Okay, so you're going to use straws as the axle instead of toothpicks. I think that's going to make a way better axle. Nice job. So you've planned it out, and now you got to create it. So let's check in on how my rover is working here. Here's my rover. Now, I'll tell you guys something. I made this rover, and it kind of doesn't work. It's got some problems, some major issues, and I'm wondering if you guys can help me solve it. So I'm going to put my rover on this ramp that I made over here, and then I'm going to focus it so that you can see it because I have another camera. So let me switch to that camera, and then I'll show you what that looks like.
These don't look far enough out.
Here's my rover.
Please do that.
Yes, that'll be perfect.
There we go. Oh, and then I'll focus it. Cool. So I've got this rover here, but look what happens when I try to make it roll. Are you ready? Set, go. It doesn't really work. It's not really rolling. And I think it's got a few problems that you guys might be able to help me solve.
Yeah.
So first of all, if I go back to this one here, can you guys see what my first issue is here? That like the belly of my rover is dragging along the ground here. So like the wheels aren't actually holding it up off the ground. If I compare that to my robotic rover, these wheels are holding the belly of it off the ground back here. So it's actually got room to roll. But my non-robotic one that I've made, the belly is it's not working. So let me go back to gallery view here. What do you guys think? We can imagine some different solutions. What's our first problem? What do you think, Sophia and Connor? First problem is, how do I get the belly off the ground? What do you think?
You can make a hole higher up in the wheel so it's not on the ground. Beautiful.
So one solution might be, rather than make the hole in the center of the wheel, you're saying I could make the hole kind of like more on the outside of it? Like that?
Mm-hmm.
let's try that. That's a really interesting suggestion. I'm going to try that and see if it works.
Lower, like on, like
On the box.
there.
Okay.
Did you have a suggestion too, Autumn?
Mm.
Oh, that's all right. you were unmuted, so I thought maybe you did. So I'm going to try what you're talking about there, and let's just kind of see how this works. So I'm going to make my hole more near the edge of the wheel. Can we come spotlight that up here? I just want to see if we can imagine how that'll work. Okay, so look at there. If I make it up more near the top of the wheel, hey, that makes it closer to the bottom until, look what happens when I turn the axle. Oh no, when I turn it, now it's not, like if this is the bottom, now it's not going to hit the bottom. Now it hits the bottom, but now it doesn't, right? So that's a really important thing about how cars and wheels and axles work, that for the most part, when you're trying to make a car, unless you want it to be like bumpy, unless you want it to kind of like move funky, which could be fun, you want to put your hole in the you want to put your axle through the center of your wheel, or as close to the center as you can get. So that was a really interesting idea, Sophia, but I wanted to try it out just to see. I wanted to kind of like, all right, let's imagine that. Let's try it. Putting the hole on the outside of the wheel, that didn't work very well. Let's go back to gallery view. What other solutions can we imagine to get the wheels to hold the body up off the floor? How about you, Iga? You can unmute yourself, yeah.
Well, you could move the chopsticks closer to the bottom.
Okay, I could move the axle down. So rather than putting, if I take one of my wheels here, you can see I put the axle right through the middle of the box here, but I could just move that axle down closer to the bottom of the box. All right, that's one imagined solution, or that's a second one actually. I think that might work. We can try that one. Does anybody have a different suggestion for how else we could get the wheels to really keep the belly off the ground there? Any other imagined suggestions for what we could do? No? All right, let's try that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna, for both of my axles, I'm gonna take my wheels off here. I'm gonna cut the hole closer to the bottom of the box down here so that the wheels will actually hold it up. Now, that's actually a really interesting thing that you suggested. And am I saying your name right? Is it Iga? Yes, thumbs up? Yes, good. Okay, thanks, Iga. I wanted to make sure. It's really important to get names right. So, but I have a couple of our learners today have been in a very special kind of car where the wheels keep the axles and the body of it really far up off the ground. Sophia and Connor, you were telling me, have you been in a monster truck?
Yeah, when we were at Wildwood on the boardwalk, there was like ramps for a monster truck, and we go there a lot, but we've only been on it once.
That is so cool. What was it like in a monster truck?
Well, there was like some like it was fun, yeah, and it made a really loud noise. And when we're on some hills, it would bump and we would go in the air a little.
So it made a really loud noise, and then I didn't catch the second part. Can you repeat that again, please?
If we went on some hills that we went on, it would like go off the ground a little. The monster truck.
Oh, like it would hop?
Yeah, hop a little.
Was it more fun or more scary?
Probably more fun.
Okay, you're like, it's a little bit of a toss-up, but a little bit more fun. So how high were you up off the ground? If I was comparing this to mine, now I've moved the axles down on my car here, so I've made them lower. How high were you off the ground? Like a normal car, you're like maybe the bottom of the car is maybe a foot or two off the ground. How high was the bottom of the monster truck off of the ground?
The wheels were very big, so that was the main part. That was like 10 feet.
You think it was like 10 feet?
Yeah, it was like, we were like 10 feet off the ground. It was like.
Yeah. So that actually presents, what you just said, presents another solution for folks who are doing it at home. It's on the monster truck that they were on, the solution that we imagined, and I think it's working pretty good. If I go to this one here, there we go. I'll back it up a little bit. Now the bottom of my Rover is off the ground. So that's cool. By moving the axle lower, that's one way to fix it. But a monster truck it has the same sort of axle as a car that's kind of near the bottom of the car, but they have really big wheels. So if you wanted to make a monster truck rover, you could do that by having really big wheels on a sort of moderate sized car. So you could make a monster rover, which would be pretty cool. That's great. Okay, so now let's check in and see how this thing rolls now. Let's see if it's got any other problems or if it's perfect. Let's check in. Coming down the ramp. Well, no, not quite there. Let's watch that again, and can you guys help me figure out what is not working on this? You guys are going to help with this very first step of ask even, because we have been kind of going straight to imagine, but help me figure out what's going on here. So let me show you it rolling down again. It's going to roll down the ramp, but what's the problem? This wheel's turning, but what's the problem with my other wheels? What do you think, guys? Let's go to gallery view. Who has some ideas? What's the problem? Let's go to Kimber. What's the issue, Kimber?
That the wheels keep bending inwards. Like the wheels keep going like this on the car, so it makes it slip and stop, which means you need to kind of attach the wheels to the axle so they stay rolling.
Yeah, that could be, that's one potential problem, that my wheels are unstable and they keep wiggling and waggling like so. So if I stabilize the wheels, that could be one potential solution. So one problem is maybe my wheels are unstable. Did anybody else have another thing that they saw that was wrong? What'd you see, Sophia? What else was wrong with this?
I think that the wheels are like, whenever it hits the ground, it makes a flat bottom of it, and
For just half a second there. Can you say that again? So when the wheels hit the ground, you said when the wheels hit the ground, it's making a flat bottom. What part is, which part are you talking about?
The bottom of the wheels, it gets flat and the other parts are round.
Ah, so you're thinking that maybe one of the issues is that my wheels aren't strong enough, that the wheels are flattening out or bending. Let's check on it. Let's see if that's part of the issue. Let me go back over here. Let's see if the wheels are kind of getting like flat tires, if they're not working, or are they staying pretty round? Let's check in. It looks like it's staying pretty round, but really only one of my wheels is turning. So the one that's turning is definitely presenting the problem that Kimber figured out. The one that is turning is waggling back and forth a lot. But the other ones, if I send it down the other way, maybe you can see it better. The other wheels, these aren't even turning. So these three wheels aren't turning at all. So I think we definitely need to stabilize them, but before we can stabilize them, I think we got to get them to turn. So there's a couple different ways that we could get our wheels to turn. So if we take a look here, we could either get the wheels to move like this one is, get the wheels to move on the axle, or like this one is, I've secured this wheel to the axle. We could get the axle to turn in that hole there, right? We could get both wheels to be stuck to the axle and they could turn when the axle turns, or we could have the axle stay in place and let the wheels turn. What do you guys think is the better solution, or which one do you want to try? Does anybody have a preference? Should we get the wheels to turn or should we get the axle to turn? Let me ask Kimber and then I'll ask Lily. What do you want to try, Kimber?
I think we should put the wheel stuck to the axle, because if you let the wheels free turn, then the wheels will kind of spin off.
Yeah. So you're worried that if we let the wheels turn freely that they will blah, 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 and like fall right off the edge.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet that we could engineer a solution to that. If that were a problem, we could kind of fix that problem when it came up. But you're saying if we fix the wheels to the axle, that could avoid that problem entirely. So you want to attach the wheels to the axle and let the axle turn freely. Okay. How about you, Lily? Which one did you want to try? You want to tell us about it? Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Lil. There you go.
I would want to try the axle, let the axle turn, because when the axle turns, it could be a little bit easier for the wheels because they don't have to turn.
Then you're only, that's a really smart thing that I heard from you, that like, if we've got to get the wheels to turn, then we've got to get 1, 2, 3, 4 things to work right. And that can be a lot of things to work right. But if we're trying to get the axles to turn, we've only got to get 2 things to work right, right? We've only got 2 axles there. So that makes it a little easier to troubleshoot. So everybody give me a thumbs up if you are also down to attach the wheels to the axle here and then try to let the axle spin freely. Are you guys cool with that? Yeah? Okay. Then what I'm going to do before I start fixing the wheels to the axle is I've also got to let this axle spin freely, because right now it's being like pinched in place by the box because I just kind of cut a little X in the box. So I'm going to make this hole bigger on all of these holes so that that the axle will actually be able to spin a little bit better. So these lower holes I'm going to make bigger, and then I'm going to stick the wheels onto the axle, and I'm just going to use tape to do that. So while I do, we've been talking about cars, but some new friends that are joining us today named Oliver and Calvin, you have a cool experience on not a car. Do you want to tell us about that a little bit?
Wait, so
What's-
we were at like Florida. We were in Florida, Everglades. Florida. We were in Florida Everglades.
Ooh, cool.
And we were and we saw like a giant snake. So we were really there to see like alligators and stuff on the airboat. Because so our grandparents live in Florida, and they took us to ride on an airboat for like an hour, and we saw a bunch of alligators and snakes and turtles and things that live in water.
Can you guys describe what an airboat is for people who have never heard of it before?
It's like basically a boat on here. Wait, I haven't here. So wait, you can't see that. Wait, let me fix that.
Yeah.
Virtual. No, wait. Stop. I don't want to.
Gonna take off their virtual background so they can show you a little bit better. I like those virtual backgrounds. They're fun, but sometimes they make it so you can't see stuff very well.
So it's like it's a boat. So that was the boat, and then if this was bigger, it would work better. But it has like a big fan in the back.
Cool.
To blow it across the water, but that would be way bigger and way louder.
Can you show me, like with your hands, if the box was the size of the boat, how big would the fan be?
It would be like that. It would be like the size of the back. That would be like.
That'd be like the diameter of the circle of the fan?
Yeah.
Whoa. And you guys were saying that it was really, really loud on the fan boat too, right?
Yeah. It was super loud.
Super loud. So you guys had to wear like ear protections and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to fix my wheels to my axle here, which is easy to do on the first one, but it's kind of harder to do on the second one. But basically, I'm just like taping, what I'm using are cup lids for my wheel. I'm taping the cup lids to my chopstick, or taping the wheels to my axle. And then I'm gonna tear off some of the extra tape so that it can move a little bit better. And then I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do some incremental testing here, which is that I'm just gonna see if what I've got here will roll. Ooh, it's looking good. My wheels are a little wonky, but it's kind of working. I'm wondering what everybody else is using for their wheels and axles though. Can we go around? Can you guys tell us a little bit about what you're using for your wheel and axle? Sigrid, did you have a question, or did you want to share something?
I know this is weird, but I don't talk, so I'm just watching.
That's fine. You can just watch. Lily, did you want to show us what your wheels or your axle are made out of? So we know that your axles are straws, and then you can unmute yourself and tell us what your wheels are made out of.
My wheels are cardboard boxes.
Smart.
And
why did you choose that material for your wheels? What did you think would make that into a good wheel?
I just didn't have anything else around the house. I couldn't find anything. And I figured that the water bottle caps, they would be too small to hold up the cars, so I figured
Yeah.
boxes will do good.
So can you show us that cardboard that you're using for the wheels? Because you're actually solving a problem that I think Kimber ran into last time. Can you hold up those wheels again that you made? Yeah, yeah. So that, if you turn it to the side and show us that cardboard from the side, yeah, we can see that it's really thick cardboard rather than like thin cardboard. So that makes much better wheels, because that was a problem that Kimber ran into last time. Is that, do you want to tell us about that, Kimber, that you had used one type of cardboard and then you had to switch?
I
Will you
used
tell us about that?
I use chipboard, and chipboard's pretty thin and bendy, so it doesn't make a very good wheel because the wheels will just kind of bend and then not move.
Yeah.
So the wheels didn't turn out very well.
So Lily, you are benefiting from Kimber having figured that out last time, because she used this like thin chipboard stuff, like my chassis is made out of, this stuff, and that stuff will tend to bend. But using that thicker cardboard, like, you know, if I switch
Amazon boxes.
yeah, Amazon boxes, this like thicker corrugated cardboard makes much stronger wheels. I'm using the ends of paper cups that I have cut off, and I've got my third wheel attached to my axle, and I've made those holes bigger, so I'm getting ready to finish it off here. Let me check in with you, Sophia and Connor. What'd you guys make your axles and wheels out of?
I'm using a wooden skewer for the axle, and for the wheels, I'm going to be using a bottom of a cup.
Okay, nice. Very, very similar. Does anybody else want to share? Elise and Kat, do you guys want to share what you're making your wheels and axles out of?
I wanted to show her ramp with the.
Oh, you guys have made a ramp for yours too? Yes, please. Nice! Look at that go! Will you show us again?
Oh.
Very cool, y'all. That is awesome. What is that ramp made of?
What's the ramp? Tell them the ramp. Come over closer to the laptop.
What is that, Kat? Oh, it's a picture?
Yeah.
It goes on the wall? And then how did you tilt it up? Do you have it like hanging on one of the cabinets kind of? Oh, smart. Smart. Look at you like using what you have around you. That is a real pro engineer move. Nice job. That's great. All right. So I think I've got my car working now. Let's see. So if I switch back to this view here, we can see, all right, so the wheels are keeping the body off the ground. And because I made those holes bigger for the axle, they're able to spin. I think I need to stabilize this wheel and make it a little more.
That wheel.
There we go. Like there. Let's try it down the ramp. Let's see if I'm as successful as Elise and Kat. Ready, set, go. I made it down a little bit. Not quite as successful as Elise and Kat. You know, I think I figured out what one of my troubles is. If I come back here, I'm using 2 different sizes of cup. I think that might be my issue. This wheel is bigger than this one, and this wheel is bigger than this one. So it's sort of
lopsided.
Yeah, it's a little bit hinky, a little bit wonky. Those are 2 of my favorite words to use when doing engineering, hinky and
I
wonky.
think if you had like the 2 big wheels on the same side and the 2 smaller wheels on the same side, it would work better.
Yeah, I think that would work way better. I think that was my plan, and I think I got distracted and forgot to do that when I took all the wheels off. So keep track of your wheels, friends. That'll really help you out later. So here we go. Let's see if I got it going down the ramp here. Almost. Oh, some of the tape got stuck. That's part of it. Okay, that spins freely. That spins freely. Ready, set. Oh! Go. It's starting to a little bit. I think we could think of some other ways to improve this, not least of which what Kimber had just said of making sure that the same size wheels, like the 2 small ones are in front and the big ones are in back, or vice versa. I want to talk a little bit about programming this guy for those of you that are doing the rovers. But any last thoughts that you guys have about what else we could do to make this car run better. Suggestion 1 is make sure that the same size wheels are in the front and back. Any other suggestions you guys have to improve this car? Let's go to gallery view and see what people might be saying. What do you think, Kimber? Any other suggestions to improve it?
Put a balloon on the back and fill it with air and
We
let
could
it go.
take inspiration from Oliver and Calvin's fan boat and make it air powered. Maybe put a balloon on the back, fill it full of air, and then let it go, and that could be really awesome. If you want to make a balloon powered car at home, I would super love to see it. Which side do you think the balloon would go on? Would the filled balloon go over the rover and the air would go out the back, or would it go like how would that go on there, do you think, Kimber?
You kind of stick the, kind of have the balloon, if this was the rover, with this, the air part of the balloon would kind of be on top, but then you'd have the little nozzle kind of right here, so it'd blow it.
Yeah, so we're thinking that the balloon part would be over the rover and the nozzle, or the little part where you put air in, would go out the back, so that it would, as the air went out this way, it would push it forward. That could work. Any other ideas you guys have for ways to improve or change this rover that I've built? Things that you're learning? Is there something that you tried that you're like, nope, that didn't work, that you could
Make it more decorative than just a cheese shell box.
Say again, Kimber?
Make it a bit nicer, like more than a cheese dinner box.
You could decorate it and make it beautiful. I think shells and cheese when I am hungry is perhaps the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But
you don't want to be hungry.
How you could improve that. Well, if you guys think of any other ways to improve this non-robotic one, let me know. Or as you guys are working, you know, I'd love to see what you guys are coming up with. I know we saw Elise and Kat's box. Does anybody else want to share their rover of how you're doing so far? What you've got so far? Do you want to show Autumn? Let's come to you. Yeah. Ooh, that's looking good. Let's check it out. You want to hold it up? Yeah. What are your axles made out of?
Chopsticks and
Your axles are chopsticks, and then your wheels are like lilies. They're made out of like thick cardboard, right?
yeah, but they don't work too much.
Let's see. Can you show us with your hand, like, show us what's not working about your rover great right now?
Every time I put it on like the table or stuff like that, and I try and turn them, it's pretty hard because when it touches the ground, it won't turn.
So you're having trouble with your wheels when you touch them to the ground. Can you angle your camera down at all, or is that not possible with your camera setup? Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if we can see those wheels on the ground. Yeah. There we go. Look at there. That's great. So now if you put your hand on top of your rover and try to like put some weight on it, right, and move it around, try that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So is your design that your wheels move separately from your axle, or are your wheels and your axle, are they attached together?
They're attached together.
Okay.
But
Can you show us from the front of your design? See, I think your wheels and your axle are actually separate. If we kind of, I love your cat playing in the background.
yeah.
So if I look at mine here, if we take a look here, the wheels of mine, they're taped onto the axle. So when the axle turns, the wheel is supposed to turn with it. Versus yours, you've got them separate, which is a totally good design. But if you're having trouble getting your wheels to turn, you might try this design where you actually like tape your wheel onto the axle and then make that axle hole in the box, make this hole right here bigger, so that, and I find that putting a little bit of weight on it, just like my hand, can actually help it move a little bit, or a book like you had it. That's pretty cool. You might try attaching your wheels and axles together and then putting some weight on there and trying to see if you can get it to roll. That might help you out. I really like the size of your rover though. I think it could be great for like a transport rover. Like it could be used to like move some serious stuff, you know, like a wagon or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it from the inside or from the outside. Yeah, exactly. So if you put the tape like on the wheel, down the wheel, and then on the axle, yep, you got it. It's tough.
I need a longer piece.
You might need a longer piece of tape. It can be helpful too to like take it out and do one side while your wheels are outside of your. I'll take this one off real quick. It can be helpful to like take it out of the axle hole. There we go. And like put one on out here where it's easier to work with, and then put it through your chassis, put it through the body of your rover, and then do the other one over here. And you could tape it from the inside like I did, or you could tape it from the outside too, like that. So that might work better too, like so. Yeah. Anybody else want to show us the rover that you guys have come up with? Need any help troubleshooting? All right, well, let's check out our robot rover then. I'm gonna put my sharp and pointy things away. And I wanna see if we can program this thing to move. And there's a particular challenge in getting this little guy to move. And we're gonna explore what that challenge is. Wah! There he goes, bye mouse. Come back here. My mouse is on the run. He thinks I'm a cat, I suppose. All right. So the particular challenge in programming your rover is to get it to go straight, because these wheels move at slightly different speeds, and it can be really tough to get them to go straight. So can we try to get him to go forward again and show us what that's looking like so far? That's not the straightest straight that ever rolled, is it? How about backwards? Also not super straight. How about turning to the right?
Well, I haven't programmed that yet.
Oh no, we need your help. It doesn't turn right. And to get it to go through our maze, we have a maze for our mouse to go through, and it's gonna need to be able to turn right, and it's gonna be able to need to turn left. So we need y'all's help. Are you ready to help us program this rover together? Let's go to gallery view really quick. Who would like to? So if you guys see Matt C is tuned in as well. That's our robot friend back here. So he's the one who's programming this rover. Who wants to give it a try? Who wants to try and program this rover? Looks like Kimber's ready, and then we'll go to Connor. We'll do a little tag team here. Let's go to Kimber. And Kimber, are you unmuted?
Yes.
Yes, all right. So Matt is gonna share his screen. And I'm gonna go to my top down so you can see this mouse rover here. So he's built a program for the up arrow and for the down arrow. Do you have control of his screen now, Kimber?
Yes.
Okay, hit your up arrow and your down arrow, and let's see if this rover moves.
Okay, you can see this, right?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
So
Let's
on
see,
your
where-
keyboard, try hitting your up arrow and your down arrow, and let's see if my mouse, yeah, all right, up arrow, down arrow, very nice. Okay, so it's moving forward for a second and then stopping, and then moving backward for a second and then stopping. But maybe you can help us troubleshoot. It's not going very straight right now. So let's take a look at those servo motors. It says Hummingbird B, rotation servo 1, negative 60%, and then Hummingbird rotation servo 2 at 15%. If I look on here, let's see, I'm just following the wires right now to see if I can figure out which wire goes to which port. I'm gonna undo my twist tie here and then redo it, because we need to figure out why when it's going forward, it's like pulling to the right a little bit. Okay, so it looks like, here we go.
What if we had both of those numbers, a negative 60 and 15%? What if those were the same? What would happen?
Try it. That's a really good idea. Try negative, let's do like negative 50 and positive 50 or whatever. Do it like the same number. Or you could do the exact same number. You could do like 50 and 50 or whatever you wanted to do. Try that. We'll see what those do. All right. Try that. Hit your down arrow. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Did you see that? Hit your down arrow again.
That's gotta be fun though.
It's pretty fun. It's a pretty good time. He looks like he's doing little circles, but he's supposed to go backwards. So the reason that that doesn't work is that these motors are kind of like mounted like opposite of each other. I can zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little better. I know that's kind of small. These motors are mounted opposite. So to get the rover to move either forward or backwards, one motor has to be positive and one motor has to be negative. So in your down arrow one, make one of those numbers negative. Make either servo 1 or servo 2 negative. You try that? Like negative 50. And let's see what that does. All right, now hit your down arrow. Hey, that's going backwards. So we've got the right one positive and the right one negative, but if I zoom out, it's not going straight back. Do it again. Hit the down arrow. Yeah. So this motor 1 is going a lot faster than this motor 2. This is a funky little quirk of rotation servos. They move faster when they're going forward than they do when they're going in negative degrees. So you've got to make the positive one a lot smaller than the negative one. So right now in the down arrow where it says positive 50, that has to be a way smaller number. Yeah, try that. Now hit your down arrow. That's pretty good. It's still going a little bit faster on the right side. Can you make that negative 50 a little bit bigger? A little bit further away from 0, I should say, not bigger. I'm going to fix my treads on my rover. Yeah, try that. Let me reorient it. Okay, hit your down arrow. That is pretty straight back, my friend. Let's
maybe 80?
You want to try 80? Try that out. Now let's see it. That's like straight back. Let's give some snaps for Kimber, y'all. That was some really good trying it out, intermittent design. Now, can you make the other one, the up arrow, the opposite of that? So servo 1 is negative 80 and servo 2 is positive 10, so that when you hit the up arrow, it goes forward. All right, now hit your up arrow and let's see what happens. Uh-oh, it went backwards again. You got to switch those.
Oh.
Yeah. Yup. Yup. All right, now hit forwards and let's see what happens. Hey, oh, it's pulling to the right again a little bit. Can you slow down motor 1 just a little bit? Instead of negative 80, try a little bit closer to 0. Make sure it's negative. There you go. All right, let's try that forward. Hey, that's pretty good. That's straightforward.
I think 60 would be better though.
Try it. This is like, you never thought guess and check would be so fun, did you? Yeah, nice. That looks great. It got caught on this little lip here, but it went straight besides that. Okay, so we've got forward and backwards. Awesome. Now we're going to take control away from you, Kimber, because we're going to give it to Connor and Sophia because they wanted to try it out too. And then we're going to give it to Lily. All right, so Lily, ready your heart, ready your soul. You're on deck, okay? All right. So Connor and Sophia, how about one of you guys get the right arrow working and one of you guys get the left arrow working? Can you guys unmute yourselves?
He was actually going to go. Oh,
are you two on a Chromebook today?
Oh, Connor and Sophia, are you guys coming to us from a Chromebook today, by the way?
Yeah.
This is a giant bummer, but for some reason, and we don't know why, we can't do remote coding via Zoom with a Chromebook. We just found that out late last week or yesterday morning, actually. So when we do it with NetsBlocks, then you can do it with a Chromebook. But when you do it with this Zoom remote control thing, you can't do it with a Chromebook. I'm so sorry, Connor and Sophia. We can't do remote coding with you guys today, but we'll try and do a NetsBlocks one maybe again sometime this week so that you guys can have control again sometime this week. Is that okay?
We're actually usually not on Chromebook, but today we happen to be on a Chromebook just because we have the other computer is being used. So
yeah. So next time, if you guys can join from your not Chromebook, then you guys will be able to do remote coding. Bummer. I'm sorry, you guys. How about you, Lily? Are you on a laptop today? Or are you on a Chromebook? Do you want to unmute, Lily?
I'm on a laptop.
Cool. Okay. Great. So Matt just gave you control, I think.
Yes, I did.
Oh. Do you have control, Lily?
I don't know.
It'll probably say, do you want to take control of Matt's computer? And you can say yeah or nah.
Well, for me, it just said you can now control Matt C's screen.
Oh, okay. Does it say that on yours, Lily? Does it say you can now control Matt C's screen?
I think it says something like that.
Is it orange? Is there like an orange tab on the top of your Zoom screen?
No.
Well, let's try removing remote control and then trying to give it to her again. I tried that last night and that worked. So we're going to stop sharing screen and then start and then give you remote control again, Lily. Okay. Does it say you now have remote control, Lily?
No, it doesn't say that.
Try moving your mouse around and we'll see if that moves the mouse around on Matt's screen. Oh, that did. Oh, that was not the right thing. There are many mouses on my screen right now.
Make sure your Zoom window is highlighted. Make sure that is the active window right now.
Yeah, is your Zoom window the one that's working, Lily? Is that one active?
No, yours is.
All right. Let's try it one more time, and if we can't get it, that's okay. You can stick around after if you've got a couple minutes after, and we can figure that out. Okay. So, does anybody else want to try it? We got to get this thing to move right and left. Does anybody else want to give it a go? Do you want to try it, Sigrid or Kat? Since you guys haven't tried it yet. Do you want to try it, Kat? Say yeah. Or Elise and Kat?
Well, I can try it.
You want to try it? Okay. So we're going to give you remote control, Elise. There you go. Nice. So if you go up to the top of that, like when the up arrow key is pressed, if you right click on it, you can duplicate that whole line of blocks. Yeah. And then scooch that over off to like the right side. There you go. Cool. Let's leave that there. And if you click, that'll leave it where it is. And then you can change that from the up arrow to the right arrow. Yeah. So now we got to figure out what to do to these motors. So we figured out that the motor number 1 is the right wheel and motor number 2 is the left wheel. So how do you think you'd change that program to make it turn to the right?
Come look at this. What do you want to change? Change the number here?
Yeah. We could change the speed of those motors.
We want it to turn. What do you want? You want to change one? Go higher? Kat wanted to just try changing it like a higher
Try
number.
it out.
What
Try
number you
changing that number to a bigger number. Let's see what happens.
She wants to try 100.
Do it. All right. Let's try it. Hit that right arrow and let's see what that does to our mouse here. Whoa. That made it turn sort of backwards, but it did make it turn to the right. Hit the right arrow again. Let's see how that worked. It did turn to the right. It kind of like backed its little butt up to turn to the right, but that's a way to turn right. Do you like how that turn is working?
Like that?
Yeah? All right. Well, now we got to get it to turn left. So can you guys duplicate that again? And then we'll make the left one just the opposite of that. Yep, you can put it down below. Probably don't want it right over the top. Yeah. And then you'll want to make those numbers opposite. So instead of 100 and then 10, you might do like 10 and then 100.
Change that. 100 is the next percentage. But
Or you could try them negative. That might work too. There's a bunch of different things you could do.
and then put it in.
Good job, Kat. Get it.
What number do you want to put here? Put it in a different number here. See what it is. 1. Okay.
Hit your left arrow and see how that works. That actually worked really good. See it turn left? Hit that left arrow again. Let's see that. That is a solid left turn there, Miss Cat. Nice work. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to turn this rover into a mouse and to put it in our mouse maze and see if we can get our mouse maze to work. So I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go put it over there. And you guys are gonna be the first ones to do it, Elise and Kat. You're gonna figure out how to get through the maze. There it is. Okay.
What key you want to press?
What do you think we'll have to do first?
You want to get it to go through there.
Probably gotta get it to go forward, right?
Where is it?
Oh, there we go. Keep it going.
It's moving it. And now which way you want to go? You're turning this way.
Yeah. Little Destructo mouse, I'm into it. There you go. Oh no. Can you back it up? He could back out of there. Back it up, little mouse, back it up. All right, don't back up too far. You don't know it, but you're on a table and you'll fall off. All right, now you got to do some turning. Whoa. Keep backing up, mouse. We'll help you out a little bit. How about some forward motion there, mouse? Yeah. If you can make that turn, then we'll give it over. We'll see if we can, we'll give Lily or Kimber another shot and see if they can program it to move a little bit. There we go. All right, so if we can pause you guys there for a second, we're gonna go back to gallery view here. There we go. So we can see everybody. Does anybody want to keep trying with the mouse? I know Kimber does. How about, can we give Lily a try again? Because we couldn't get hers to work before, so we'll give her another shot to see if she can program this mouse. All right, so we went to remote control. Does it say that you have control now, Lily? Yeah? Oh, great. Okay, now use your arrow keys and let's see if you can get this thing going.
Where did the mouse go?
It's up here in the corner in the very bottom left. It's kind of right behind, there it is. Can you see Matt's hand? He's pointing at it. There it is. So now try and hit the up arrow or the turn arrows to get it to move.
It says that I can control it, but when I try to use the up and down arrows, when I try to use the controls, it doesn't work.
Doesn't like it. Sometimes that happens with different keyboards. Can you use your mouse to click on the one that says up arrow? Can you like move your mouse around and go click on the thing that says when up arrow key press? Yeah, click on that. Just click where it says when. So move your, yeah, keep that up arrow, and then say click when. There you go. So you can click on it like that. Yeah. And then click on it again and it'll go forward again. Yeah. He's trying to escape the maze here. This is very Westworld. Yeah. I actually like watching you click on it. Okay, now he's got to turn to the left. Whoa. There you go. Ooh, it's lined up pretty good. Yeah, 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 you're doing it. Keep going. The maze is forgiving. The maze moves a little bit. You might have to go to the left a little bit. He's kind of getting out of. We'll open up that channel again. There we go. All right. Now can you get through there? Can you back it up and back? Oh my gosh, Lily, this is great. You're like, I'm just gonna push my way through the maze. There we go. Now you're on the right side of it. I believe in you. You will be the one to take us to the cheese. The chosen mouse is what you are.
Yummy. I'm ready to eat my cheese for lunch.
Okay, now there you go. Go forward. There, yeah. Yes. Thread that needle. I believe in you. Ooh. There we go. Overcoming obstacles every day. You're doing it. You're doing it. Yes. Yes. Go, 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 go. Should we cheer her on, everybody? Go, Lily. Go, Lily. Go, Lily. Go, Lily. It's your birthday. Go, Lily. Go, Lily. Now turn around. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Back up into it. See if that works. Go down. Yeah.
See what happened?
Yeah. Forward, forward.
The clothes have changed.
Yes, you did it. Nice job, everybody. That was truly, truly, truly a group effort. So Matt's gonna stop sharing his screen now. He's gonna kick you off, Lily. Oh my gosh, let us all give a round of applause for all of our coders and programmers and remote controllers. Give yourselves a round of applause. Very nice. That was really a team effort, y'all. That was really fun. And I see people in the comments saying, great job, Lily, too. That's great. So I'm going to finish us out here by just telling people how they can get involved with this as well, okay? So we have a bunch of ways that you can get involved, but the best one probably is to join our Zoom class. And you can do that by visiting us on our website, birdbraintechnologies.com/robotics@home. That lists all of our upcoming classes and tells you, and you're able to register that way. So it's free to attend. You don't even need a robot. As you saw, some of the kids here today did not have robots, and they were making the non-robotic versions, and then at the end they got to program some robotic versions. So you can check out our live classes. There's some really cool video series on there that will teach you things about like how to make a robot petting zoo animal or a moving masterpiece. Some really cool stuff. Plus, there's courses so you can teach yourself how to use your Hummingbird or Finch at home. If you have any questions about anything, you can certainly feel free to email us, whether that's troubleshooting questions, ordering questions, anything like that, because you can order a Hummingbird to have at your house to make and program right along with us if you want. Normally you can find them in schools, but since we're all kind of our own schools right now, you can have your own Hummingbird at home too. You can just get one or get a couple of them, anything like that. We'd love to see what you guys make, so you should share with us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can tag @BirdBrainTech or hashtag Hummingbird Kit. We'll find all of those and see them. We'd love for you to share the project you made, even if you didn't use a Hummingbird Kit, even if you just made a Recycled Rover. Tag us, because we'd love to boost you and retweet you. But from all of us here at BirdBrain Technologies, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you again on Thursday and on Friday when we have 2 more classes coming up. So thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see what you make on social media. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you can tag @BirdBrainTech or hashtag HummingbirdKit, or you can even tag me. If you have any questions, be sure to email us, info@birdbraintechnologies.com. We can answer questions about purchasing, about learning, about teaching, and about professional development. If you haven't been there yet, be sure to visit our Robotics at Home page. There you can purchase a kit for yourself, learn how to use it, and even join one of our upcoming webinars. Until we see you in class, thanks for watching from everyone at BirdBrain Technologies.